I would like to give the opportunity to speak to Warren Creates, who is one of the Afar advisors. He has been working with the Afar for over 15 years now, and he's been to the Afar region almost in Ethiopia, not to Eritrea and Djibouti, but has been to Ethiopia many years, I think close to 12 years. Warren Creates will do his presentation and then he will introduce Professor Magnet. With that, Warren, I give you the mic. Thank you.
Salam alaikum. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank the organizers of this Congress. I want to thank the hosts for thinking to include me today in the list of very good speakers. It's an honor for me to participate today, as it is for every opportunity I've been granted over these many years to speak at gatherings, conferences, congresses, and so forth, where I have done so in Canada, in Sweden, in Belgium, in Paris, and other places. I've also participated during these many years in protests and rallies that take place to draw attention to the many things that Ali spoke about in his opening remarks. And I couldn't agree with him more. And I'm thanking Ahmed for providing us, who are not able to speak the Afar language, with the very thorough overview and interpretation which Ahmed Yusuf just provided me. I agree with everything that Ali said. And joining you today in common cause is a great honor, but also a great responsibility that all of us share, who care deeply about the Afar people and their circumstances. I started representing Afar individuals who were refugee claimants who had come to Canada from Djibouti and from Eritrea, but also from Ethiopia many years ago, before my direct involvement in providing humanitarian help, which Ahmed alluded to and which I will describe in a little bit more detail. I came to understand through the testimony and through the witnesses who had suffered indignities and persecution, and fortunately who had come to Canada to seek protection. And so in the 36 years I've been a lawyer, I've probably represented more than 300 Afar refugee claimants during the last 25 or so years. It's sad to acknowledge this, but 100% of them have been granted refugee status in Canada. I'm proud of that record as an advocate and as a lawyer in representing them, but it points out a very troubling situation that during these decades, the Afar people have been the victims of persecution so many times and so thoroughly that their refugee claims are granted very quick approval in Canada. I'm proud that I've been involved in that work and that they've been successful in their refugee claims, but it also saddens me that the need continues, is now even worsened for their protection. Of course, in the great numbers that they exist in Eritrea, Djibouti, and also in Ethiopia, there's no way that Canada or America or the UK or Scandinavian countries could protect all of them. So it was obvious that we needed to take help, humanitarian support, advocacy, awareness building, not just to the Afar region of the Horn of Africa, not just the Afar Triangle, but to other countries in the world with whom are challenged by so many different things. A voice is needed to draw attention to what's happening to the Afar people. So Ahmed took me 15 years ago on the first trip that I made into the Afar region of Ethiopia. And quite frankly, I was shocked by what I saw. He had warned me, as did my clients, of what was going on there. But going to that region and seeing the vast, the vast number of people that are being persecuted, and the refugees pouring across the border into Ethiopia from Eritrea, they shocked me. It really did, and it continues to shock me. I went there 15 years ago for the first time, and as Ahmed said, I've been back to that area a total of 11 times. We tried to make trips every year. There were some years we couldn't, and particularly now in recent years, because of both COVID and the war there, we have been unable to go there. However, that has not interrupted our support. We have continued to raise awareness, to do advocacy, to raise funds in Canada and elsewhere that we've deployed in support of the Afar people. Afar people from Eritrea, Afar people from Djibouti, as well as those inside of Ethiopia who remain there. I want to speak to the kinds of projects that we've been supporting, because I think it speaks to the need of the Afar people, but it also speaks to our ability to provide supports where the United Nations and other government organizations are unable. We've provided clothing to refugees. We've provided food for refugees from Eritrea who are in or at least registered in refugee camps in Ethiopia. We've provided clean water technology so that people in Afar communities in Ethiopia could cleanse their water and thereby mitigate or reduce the amount of cholera in that country. We have supported by financing the construction of 2 water reservoirs so that when it does rain, water collects and can be used for livestock and for human consumption. We've supported women's empowerment, okay, including microfinancing, so that women have work, so that women are transferring skills to their children, and that's been a very successful project. We've educated children as well as those in post-secondary education in Ethiopia who have come from Eritrea. It's very important. Education is an elevator or a lifter for communities. We have sent medical equipment. We have sent medical supplies. And of course, we have sent medical skills, my own wife included in that, to go and work there in the maternity hospital to support women suffering from compromised pregnancies and childbirth. So that's a long list. That gives you a sense of the need, but it also gives, which you're all too familiar with. I'm not teaching you anything you don't already know, but I wanted to highlight those projects in particular to show you the supports that we built over the years. The money we've raised, about $500,000 Canadian in amount, to support and save lives and empower people. Perhaps the biggest responsibility that we have, and one which I'm very proud to contribute towards, is the advocacy and awareness building that our Can Go Afar Foundation, that's the name of our charitable foundation in Canada. We are called the Can Go Afar Foundation. And it's that word alone, or that title name for our foundation, is empowering. Yes, we can do these things, and we will do these things. We have done these things, and we'll do more of these things, because we can do it and we must do it. And as I said, the advocacy and awareness building is perhaps the biggest responsibility, but also the biggest need. People won't support things or even care about things unless they're made aware of them. And that's a job that Professor Magnet, myself, and all of you participating in this Congress do very aptly, or very well. I want to thank the hosts of this Congress and everyone who contributes to the Afar cause and to the solidarity of our people. These Congresses are very important. They get distributed around the world. People watch them, governments watch them, and people are made more aware that we are watching and we care and we are doing things. And we want to hold governments to account so that the protection of lives and the freedoms that are all too often taken for granted in places like Canada can be enjoyed in countries like Eritrea and Djibouti, even in Ethiopia. So we care about it, and we do these things because we do care. I want to introduce Professor Joseph Magnet because his contributions, although numerous, are profoundly important. As I noted earlier, we can be doing these humanitarian projects for a very long time, and we can devote the fullness of our effort and time towards them. But unless the problem, the source of the problem is actually addressed, and by that I mean what's going on in Eritrea, then these problems will continue and they'll spread elsewhere, as they have. Professor Joseph Magnet is a scholar. He's a professor of law, a very notable one. He is internationally recognized as an expert in constitutional law, and in particular, the protection of Indigenous minority groups pursuant to forms of government that are called federal forms of government. Okay, so I went to Joe, Professor Joe, and I told him my involvement at a very small scale, in a very humble way. We've been doing these humanitarian works, but unless we deal with the bigger issue being the persecution of the minority Afar people in Eritrea, unless we can actually have our voice heard in Eritrea and elsewhere in the world about a concept or a vision for a reformed post-authoritarian framework in Eritrea, unless we can deal with that directly and using his expertise, then we will constantly be tormented with just playing in a small way at the smaller problems. There's a bigger problem. And Professor Magnet showed great courage and great interest and great vision on what could be done to help the Afar cause and the Afar solidarity and the Afar people throughout the world. Unless we can gather together and share these visionary ideas and find common cause and share our resources and our vision and understand what could be made of a disastrous situation and could be made now, so that things are done now, things are prepared now for regime change in Eritrea, so that the other nationalities in Eritrea are aware of a vision that could help everyone, not just the Afar people, but provide a vision for all nationalities in Eritrea to gather and support something that they could really be proud of. So Professor Magnet has been involved and devoted countless efforts and times dealing with these issues and presenting a united front of evidence and more to the United Nations. He will tell you in particular more about that. So I want to wish everyone a very successful Congress, everyone contributing today and all year round to these issues cannot be thanked enough by me and by others about the important advocacy work that's being done by you. And I'm honored again, I will repeat, I'm honored again to be part of it. I've enjoyed all my interactions with you who are contributing today and all the Afar people I've met. I admire the courage and the persistence and unfortunately their patience, but the time is ripe now to put patience behind us and to press forward for solutions that will be helpful. So God to Gay, thank you very much. All my best wishes to everyone. Thank you.
God the Gay, thank you very much, Brother Wade, as he's affectionately known by the Afar people. Very nice, thoughtful, and we thank you for your hard work providing humanitarian assistance to our people everywhere. So Warren, I know you had to postpone your travel to join us. We really appreciate
Yeah.
your work and really thankful. With that, I think I thank you, Madawadi.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.